Now, you were with the Queen, I think, during the time of the Scottish referendum.
Indeed I was, yeah.
Where obviously Scotland were asked to vote on independence.
Indeed.
And the Queen obviously has large property in Scotland, and she's, the Queen of Great Britain, of Scotland, of Wales. You were there at the time when the Queen made this comment, famous comment, where what happened there at the church?
It was a very funny situation. When you go to Scotland, and the Queen used to go to Craffy Church, all photographers weren't allowed to go and do pictures at what we say at the top of the hill outside the church. You had to stand down the bottom and you had to do car pictures. That's why any pictures you see at Craffy are always car pictures.
When we say car pictures, car goes past, you just see them.
As they drive past, you do a picture, if you're lucky, through the windscreen.
Yeah.
And there was two of us there this day. A very good friend of mine, Donald Stewart, God rest him, he's passed away now. We were standing there, we'd done the Queen go in, as usual. And then we decided, well, we're going to get a cup of coffee somewhere. We won't put the pictures in until they come out, and then we'll go and do them. So we were standing there just chatting, should we go and get a cup of coffee? When somebody came down, he was a Scottish police officer, plainclothes, and he said, I've been sent down to take you two to the top of the hill to do a picture of the Queen because she's going to do a walkabout. And I said to him, the Queen never does walkabouts at church service. She comes out the church, she gets in the car, she waves at the crowd, and that's it, she's gone. He said, today's a different day. She's going to do a walkabout, and she wants the photographers to record it. And I looked at my friend, and he looked at me, and he said, this ain't right. There's something wrong. Anyway, we went, and sure enough, church service then, the Queen come out, and then for some unknown reason, she walked past the car, walked over to the crowd, a beeline. She knew exactly where she was going, talked to somebody in the crowd. Then somebody told the reporter that she'd asked a group of people, I can't remember the exact words, but she said something like, be careful to what you wish for.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. And we thought, when the reporter found this out, he was told, he went to try and find the people. These people had disappeared. She couldn't find them. We couldn't find them. They just disappeared. We think it was something that she wanted to do. She wanted to make sure she got as much publicity. I've never known it before.
This is a comment where, I don't have it in my notes, unfortunately, but this is a comment that the Queen made where I think she made worldwide news, where she had told people to be careful what you do. I think
be careful what you wish for, something along those lines.
There are times when photographers can be used to send a message out.
Absolutely.
Reporters can be used to send a message out. So and stuff like that. What about Prince Andrew?
I was the first one ever to photograph him playing golf. And that was in Scotland, at Ballata Golf Course. And he was nothing other than very good to us. A colleague and I, we were photographing him from the footpath behind the bushes, as we normally do. And he's sent his protection officer over. Please, will you get the people out the bushes, but tell them to come and walk with me. And they can do as many pictures as they like in the ordinary way you would expect if you were on a golf course. And, it's the same. We walked round with him for about 10 hours. In the end, we got fed up with taking pictures, quite honestly. We had to make our excuses and leave and meet him back at the 18th when he finished and shook hands with the club captain. But, I've always found him fine. People have said he's very arrogant. Obviously, he must be, because some of the silly things that he's done. But on the day that the story broke about the problems that he had with Epstein and co, him and Fergie, we were at Royal Lodge, and him and Fergie actually sent somebody down with loads of flasks of coffee, loads of biscuits for the press that were standing outside. So it's not all that bad.
He didn't stop taking pictures though, did he?
No. And we've done loads of pictures of him out riding. He never complains. He never complains about any pictures that he's had done. I've never had one complaint from Prince Andrew at all. All the pictures that I've done in the last probably 4 or 5 years.
One of the questions that I think people will, I think one of the questions that everybody will always ask you is, obviously you sell the pictures. So what has been the most expensive picture that you've sold, or what picture have you made the most money of over?
Probably 2 pictures.
Yeah.
The picture of Charles and Camilla together. The main picture you always see is a picture of them signing it by a tree.
Oh yeah.
That's not mine.
Yeah.
I did the picture of them at Burke Hall, where it was a funny old story, really, because I was actually in a position where I could see the front door of Burke Hall, and I saw Parker Bowles and Camilla turn up.
You mean Andrew Parker Bowles,
Andrew Parker
husband at the time,
and Camilla turn up in a car right from the airport, chauffeur driven. I see them get out of the car. They went into Burke Hall. Literally 10 minutes later, Charles's Range Rover pulled up outside. Out came Camilla. Out came Prince Charles. Picnic hampers, blankets were all put in the back of this Range Rover. She got in the front seat. Charles got in the driving seat on their own and disappeared. And I thought, that ain't right. That's a bit odd. You know what I mean? Her husband's in there somewhere. And literally within half an hour, another Range Rover pulled up with fishing rods on the top, a ghillie driving. Out come Andrew Parker Bowles, got in the front seat, and off they went fishing.
Sorry, Andrew went off without.
Oh yeah,
Camilla.
Yeah.
Charles went off somewhere. I mean, you could write your own story about that.
Absolutely.
What was the story then? That must have been in all the papers.
Well, again, it was the start of. I think it was the start of the rot where it actually became known that they were an item, and to a certain extent, that's how it was written.
Yeah.
Because in them days, as I say, it's not like today.
Well, let's talk a bit about today, because we've got some of the younger royals. Well, not the younger royals anymore, but there's the younger royals get older, like the current Princess of Wales.
Yeah.
Kate, obviously, she hasn't been seen very often recently because of her cancer struggle. She's done a couple of videos. She's appeared at Trooping the Colour, but I do remember that you did get quite a famous picture of the Princess of Wales recently. Could you talk us through?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, we were actually. My colleague Kelvin and I were sent down to Windsor purely to get an early picture of William going to Westminster Abbey. And the online wanted pictures early. So we went down there and we tried to get a picture, and we were struggling a little bit, to be fair, because the outriders wasn't where we expected them to be, and there was a lot of confusion. But as we were driving back to check out something again, literally we see an outrider pull up at a road at Datchet. Fortunately, Kelvin was driving. I was in the passenger seat. I jumped out the car, literally as this car come round the corner, and I'd done pictures. And we thought, he said, "Have you got William?" And I said, "Yeah, great, William. Got William, fine." So we disappear off to the cafe, which is our want, to sit down, and we start looking at the pictures. And then Kelvin says, "Hold on, there's somebody sitting next to him." So we lighten the picture a little bit in Photoshop, don't affect it, just lighten it. And sure enough, he said, I'm pretty sure it's her. And I went, "Can't be." So we then alert the office to let them know that she may be going to Westminster Abbey, because nobody knew to the extent of how ill she was. And I think we sent a picture to you to confirm it.
You did, and I think the agreement was with the palace was, well, she was with Prince William on an official, William was going to an official event, so those pictures were able to be used.